I have in front of me here a 100-meter roll of CAT6 cable. Now the reason that we're now stocking the CAT6 cable is the advantages that come with it. So basically it has much higher data transfer capabilities than other cables. It can support gigabit networks, and that translates really into being able to transfer data much faster. You can support high definition video transfer, etc. That's simply not possible on lower spec cables. If we come along and look at this particular 100-meter roll here, we can see it comes pre-packed like this, and we have a specification sheet on the front of it here, okay? If we come along here, we can see that I've actually pared down the end of this cable. And let's look at some of the key points here and contrast and compare it against, we'll say, some of the lower cost, lower spec CAT5E cables that we sell. So the first thing to note is that we have a cable separator here. So we have this, we can see in the center here, we have each of the 4 sets of twisted pair are not actually touching each other. They actually slot into this groove that's within the cable, and it's inside the outer sheet. So that's actually obviously a good design. The next thing here is we look at the actual core wires here. The core wire is 0.57 millimeters as opposed to about 0.5 millimeter with the lower spec CCA cables. And the other thing is that it's pure copper as opposed to copper clad aluminium, so it obviously has a much greater capacity there. And if we look at the outer dimension here, this CAT6 cable here is 6.2 millimeters as opposed to about 5 millimeters if you're dealing with CAT5E. So overall, you're just getting a lot more cable. If we were actually to weigh this roll of cable 100 meters and compare it back to, we'll say, a CAT5E cable, that was CCA, this will weigh in at roughly about just over 2 times the weight, and that real difference is coming from the fact that there's so much copper in it. So also inside this range we have a 50-meter roll, which you can see here, and inside the range, we'll say at the lower spec ones that would have the CAT5E cables that are CCA, we have a 50-meter, 100-meter, and also a 305-meter box here, and they're for outdoor use. And there's lots of uses for running back picture things at best. It can be ideal, and the fact that it's PE is the outer sheet means that it's much more resistant to waterproofing, things like that. And then if we look at another indoor version of the CCA CAT5E, we have a 50-meter, 100-meter, and also a 305-meter. And once again, that would be a very popular cable as well. The CAT5E still certainly outsell the CAT6, but mainly because they're just a lower cost, and for many uses they still are fine. And then if we come along and we look at, we'll say, we actually have a very high spec CAT5E that's pure copper as well, and that's mainly used for long cable runs where you need to support PoE, power over internet. Pure copper again gives a big advantage in terms of the distances that we can run power over. So that's it anyway, an overview of the CAT6 100-meter cable roll.